It's kind of like any bait, any fish, any place type Shad running rig. So basically, amnesia again is what you'll need. I've got 2 hooks here, so it'll sort of be a half of a pulley panel rig. So that's a 5/0, that's a 1/0. That'll just sit on the top of the bait like that. I'll have a little bead on top of it. Again, you can go for a smaller or bigger bead depending on what one you want to do. I want to go for a smaller little loomy bead on this one just to tip it off, because it's going to be kind of a donkey choker bait. So again, 1.5 out. This is just an all-round boat rig. You can put anything on this. You can put a big worm, squid, bluey, whatever you want on it, you can put on it basically. I tend to prefer longer rigs on boats. Tends to just drift better in the tide, and I find I get more hits with the longer rigs than I do with the shorter ones. So again, slide the bead on. That bead there just relatively slides up relatively easy. So yeah, it just slides up really easy. So just fold it over, pull that down. If you pull it to one side like that, just put your thumb on it, pull it to one side, it allows you to get the second bit of lining. So you can use quite thick lining, quite small beads. You got any glasses? So there we go. I'll do it like that. Go on. And you go. Finally got there. Yay! So there we go. So that's just twice around there. Now that will stay wherever you put it on the line. Just help tips off the bait. Sorry, the bead's a bit dirty. Reuse to another rig. Always feel free to reuse them. Don't be chucking them away. So the first hook just slides on, and that'll just be a runner at the top. You just wrap that round 3 times normally, like you would do. You know, wrap, and then secures it in. So there we go. That'll just be a running hook. Spider. So then here we go with a big 5/0 just at the bottom. Tie that on. This is the knot I use, which is just basically up. So this is the 3 line that I pulled through. You just want to combine them 2 together, then just loop that small bit round. So it's just like that. Then these 2 have got to be together, and you just wrap that round it 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wet it up. Little nib. Just hold on to it. Hold the hook. So it should all go pretty tight, and then slide that down. There's the knot. I don't know if you can see that quite clearly. I forgot to hold it. I think my hand's a bit shaky. Let's see if we can hold that there for you. No, it's not like that. So that's how you do it anyway. And obviously, because this is going to be inside a big bait, normally a squid stuffed with something. So put a worm on, put a squid on first, hook it through the top through, then put a worm on underneath, and then slide the squid back over the worm. So ultimately, when you go to get it set up, move that down, it'll choke King Kong, that would if it was that size. So what you're looking at is sort of like that hook up, wrapped around a few times, and then that's sort of like what you're looking at there. 1 hook off the top of the bait, 1 hook off the bottom. Obviously it's just a little bit far apart, would go down a little bit, so yeah, that's how it is, 1 out either side. Nice rig, and then obviously that to one side. So then now what we need to be doing is just tying on a swivel the other end. Again, same knot. Loop back on itself, and then just create a loop with just that offshore bit. So that is effectively what it is there. Look. So you've gone round and then you're just wrapping this through there 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wet it up. Hold the nib, pull it down. See, they're starting to go together. Slide it in, ping, there you go, tiny knot. Just again, leave a bit of a longer nib on that, it doesn't really matter just because it's maybe tied to there. See what I mean there? It's quite a long rig, a long flowing rig. See what we need? Tiny little bit more amnesia. So this is going to be another bolt type rig. So we'll just lift the snood up and leave that there for a minute. Go on there, try not to hook anything. It wants to keep sliding off the table and hooking onto the table for some reason. I've absolutely no idea why. So leave them both there. So then what I'm going to be doing is just using a little slider and a couple of beads. So first thing to do is at the other end of this, just tie another little bit of amnesia on. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just wet out. There we go, it's just a little nibby. Now what I'll just do with this is just use a small bead on. This is the same as what I used for the 2 down rig. When I've done that, I'll just nib that off. So now I know that's there. Nib that off, put the runner on. Run and boom. So that just stops that pounding against that. Just need another bead actually, get a little more. Always have a tackle box, plenty of beads, plenty of everything in. I also make some spare snoods just because this is quite interchangeable, so if I needed to, if this snood broke, all I needed to do was basically just cut this line here and then reattach it to another snood, or I could just put a clip swivel on and it would do the same, literally the same thing. So if you ever lost your snood, you could just attach another one, so it's always worth having a couple spare. Made up the same length. What I tend to use is the old hook cases. Once I've run out of the old hook packets, there's only 2 left in that. Once that's run out, I then put a spare snood in there and just keep it to one side. So that's what the rig would look like, and then obviously just tie a swivel off at this end, which we've got here. Again, another reused swivel. And cheap. Don't like to keep spending money on tackle because a couple of quids here and there always add up and add up and add up. So whenever you're done at the end of the day, what I like to tend to do is, if I fished a rig and it's been fished all day, cut the hooks off at the end of the day and just reuse everything on it. But hooks go in the waste bag at the end of the day. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we'll do now, sweat out. Hold that. Slide that down. And there we go. So then we'll cut that off there. So, swivel. The bead again, I like that part running. So swivel, bead, running bead. It comes down to that. Then it goes to the long snood. Because obviously you're on a boat, so you don't have to worry about when you cast. You're only flinging it off the back. So you're not casting too far, so it doesn't. It's fairly tangle proof. And then obviously once you get down to this end, you can just slide that down for a better representation of what it'd look like. So that's at the other end. So that's how it kind of look like. Smaller hook. I always like doing it so the smaller hook's going out the opposite side to where the main hook is. That way if you get a big fish swallow it either side, you've got a good chance of either hook catching. There you go. That's it. Anywhere, bounce around, Shad rig. Thank you.